Hello everyone, how's it going? So Gears of War Reloaded. Now I've been seeing a lot of contrasting opinions about this game, whether it's a failure or a flop, and usually it comes from console extremists like PlayStation and Xbox. But I want to look at this objectively about whether this game is truly a flop or is there something else going on here. Now I've played extensively the Reloaded game. I've played about 30 hours, 40 hours of the game. I'm level 68 in multiplayer. I played through the campaign, got all the cog tags. I'm going to do the insane walkthrough on stream. I started it. But I played a lot of this game. So first off, this is the Ultimate Edition just repackaged for $40. I believe if you had the digital edition of the Ultimate Edition on Xbox, you got a free upgrade. But it's been wishy-washy on people. They said they only got an upgrade on PC through the Xbox app. And other people are saying they got it through their home console. They didn't get both. But it's a little weird, but I don't know. And the other thing is that if you got the disc version, for some reason they didn't give you the free upgrade. I don't know why. It's probably the combat used game sales in case you just borrowed the game, which I think is very stingy because this is literally just a re-release of the Ultimate Edition version of the game. Now the campaign itself, great game, 9 out of 10 experience, great introduction, the lore, the atmosphere, the enemy design, the final boss with General Ram, everything is absolutely fantastic. So why are these numbers on Steam like this? Steam tends to gives you a good idea of how the game is performing among all consoles, along with, well, PC obviously, but with console as well. Like, take this number and usually double it, and especially on the home console, which would be Xbox, and you got a general idea. So let's say 20k players, which is decent enough for a franchise like this, especially for a game that's 10 years old. Like, remember, the Ultimate Edition came out in 2015. This is a 10-year-old game. But in case of, like, a solid release, it's not doing that well. Like, I tried to turned off crossplay and tried to get a multiplayer match within just the Xbox ecosystem. It took 3 times as long to get a match as opposed to putting crossplay on. And, well, there are problems with that. So on PC particularly, the game has a mixed reception, and that's mainly because of missing features. A lot of people are saying they have technical issues, there's no split screen, there's crashing problems. And yeah, a lot of people are not happy about this because it's basically the same game, but some features are missing, which, yeah, a lot of people would be upset about this. On PlayStation, it has a 4.5 rating. Here's the breakdown of all of that, which is really good for a game like this. Like, $40 I still think is expensive, but they bundled the multiplayer together. Maybe it was just, I don't know why they charged $40, whatever. But it's still a bit expensive in my opinion. I think the highest they should have charged is $30, but there's still a lot of problems with this Reloaded game. So like I said, again, this is a re-release of the Ultimate Edition of the title. And the problem with that is that this game has all the same issues within the Ultimate Edition. Now, if you played the Ultimate Edition, you know what I'm probably talking about when you say, for example, the long shot. Like, for the long shot, you can literally shoot through cover if you know exactly how the textures are modeled. Like, certain cover exposes your head just slightly enough where you can't see the head, but you know it's there. It's hard to explain, and basically, if you're sticking your head at the edge of certain barricades, you will instantly get headshotted. And that leads on to my, well, they also have other issues, like, for example, matchmaking is also incredibly broken. I'm level 68 and I still get teamed up or fight against players who are level 1, 2, level 10. These are people who don't even know what they're doing, and I'm either on their team or against their team, and it's both for ranked and social game modes. And since there's no penalty for leaving social games, people just leave when they get into a situation like that or towards the end of the match, and it's very annoying. So there's no penalty for leaving social games. Ranked games, you get a penalty for experience, but these players don't give a damn about experience. Experience unlocks new cosmetics, skins, which is fine, but yeah. So a lot of the problems that existed in the Ultimate Edition are still here. And, like, the game is 10 years old. Are you telling me you guys couldn't fix these, like, problems with the game? Like, whether you're on the fence of this or not, for example, the Nasher. Like, I'm not talking about, like, the Nasher's performance about how it shoots, but how people can go into cover and wall jump and shoot blind fire after they've shot once. Like, I feel like that shouldn't be a thing, but it's still a thing. And if you're not good at it, you're basically at a huge disadvantage, just like with the long shot. Like, I've gotten okay at it, but basically, once you master that, where you can shoot essentially twice at the same time, I feel like that should have been reduced. I know there are a lot of Gears of War purists who would say, no, it should be exactly the same. I disagree. Like, I think that if you want to play the original game is out there. It's still playable. There are people who can set up private lobbies and all that. But for this game, I really think they should have changed it a little. Like how shotguns can be essentially used as sniper rifles. Like, people use them like lancers because the lancer is so freaking weak. The lancer is good for suppressing targets, but it's not good for an everyday weapon. And I really think they should have reduced the shotgun. Like in Gears of War 2, the way they changed this is that the blind fire for the shotgun was randomized, but for Gears of War Ultimate Edition and Reloaded, it's always the exact same pattern. So if you get the pellets in a certain way, it's an instant chunk or an instant kill, especially with headshots, which, by the way, they can still headshot you even if you're running away, because the way that the models are designed, if the bullet goes through the head, regardless of the position, it's a headshot, which is going to lead into my next example. Gears of War is not a casual friendly game. Like, this game is extremely difficult to get into. Anyone who says it's easy to pick up and play, they are lying to you. 100%. I've played every major installment in this franchise, being every game on insane difficulty. I've played the multiplayer for more than 200 hours combined. This is not a casually friendly game, which is good. Like, I think we should have more of those games that have niche audiences, like Battlefield. Recently, with the Battlefield Call of Duty argument, a lot of people after the beta said they need to tone down the movement, make class specific weapons where only recons can use DMRs and sniper rifles, that type of system, which I think that's a fair analysis. Like, you should keep the game the way it is, but there should have been balance changes for a lot of this. Like, no one should be able to use a shotgun like a Lancer and basically take down someone even with active reload when they're 20 feet away, which I have done and other people have done. Like, mostly almost no one uses the Lancer unless they're really far away and need to suppress a target. So I think that major balancing issue should have been implemented along with the matchmaking system, where there is no reason, even with no skill-based matchmaking, that a level 1 should ever be on a team or facing a team of level 90s, which I have seen, and it's just as crappy as you might think. They just farm people for kills, especially on King of the Hill, until the new players get so frustrated, and you know what happens afterwards. They quit the game. They stop playing it. They're not going to be interested in ever playing the multiplayer again. And look, the Gears of War campaigns are absolutely exceptional. I think they are extremely underappreciated. Gears of War was one of the kings of the Xbox 360 age, and the campaigns, especially Gears of War 3, to me, that's the pinnacle of the multiplayer experience. Still absolutely fantastic experience. But a lot of people do dedicate themselves to the multiplayer, and I feel like they should have implemented a better way to track players' skills and make sure that they are readily placed in really good games, instead of someone who could literally blind fire a long shot halfway across the map and instantly headshot someone. Like, that's the other thing. Blind firing is not blind firing for the shotgun and the long shot. There's a little icon in the middle of the screen that's invisible when you don't aim down your sights, and you can literally blind fire someone if you know where the like, if you have a good sense of where the icon is. To me, there should have been a bloom effect, which I believe was in Gears of War 2. But again, Gears of War purists will hate me for saying that, because they're the ones who are wall bouncing all over the place. I do that with the shotgun, but with the sniper rifle, that's a whole new level of just psychotic. Like, they're probably on every type of stimulant you could possibly imagine. But I really think that this game is a failure. Not in the sense that you might think. I think this is a lost leader. Like, what they're trying to do here is like with the PlayStation community. They release their games on PC to try and encourage people to buy a PlayStation so they can get early access. That's essentially what it is, to the next big PlayStation title. And the same thing is true with this game. I think this is a lost leader. They knew this game wasn't going to sell well. They knew it was going to do pretty poorly in terms of player count. And the whole point of this is just to generate hype. Just to get more people interested within the new communities that they're fostering. Play Anywhere system, which Xbox has been very into. They're trying to just phase out consoles and just deliver their games to anyone who has an Xbox Game Pass subscription, and encourage people just to do that. Like, if you play on PlayStation, you obviously have to pay for the game, but that's what they want. They want to get this whole new community of players, which I think is fantastic. Like the only people who are complaining about this are like fanatical when it comes to which plastic box is better than the other plastic box. But I really think that that's the whole point of this, just to get more people into the franchise. It's like when they released that horrible Assassin's Creed movie, Ubisoft. The whole point was just to get people into the franchise and say, okay, they're aware of Assassin's Creed. Maybe they might buy a game or two here. But the biggest seller is merchandise. I really think that even if this is a lost leader and not a lot of people get into the Gears of War franchise, if they could just get like maybe 2,000 people to get into this franchise and start buying like Lancer replicas, disc plates, t-shirts, hoodies, like people really don't value how much merchandising actually is. Like merchandising can turn a huge profit if you get enough people to buy this type of stuff. And I think that's what the major hook for this is. They just want to get as many people into the franchise as possible. That's why they just cheaply re-released the Ultimate Edition. Didn't resolve any issue, didn't do any type of fixes or changes, and just said, yep, that game, copy and paste, here's the PlayStation community. And that's what they're doing here. I really think that this game is a flop, but it's a lost leader where they're willing to take the L on this if it means they can get enough people talking about this game and just playing it until they release Gears of War 2 remastered, Gears of War 3 remastered, because we all know that's coming. If you don't know, the Platinum Trophy for the PlayStation version, I think, is more to come, or basically it's like a metaphor for what's going to come next. They're just trying to hint that Gears of War 2 is going to happen on the PlayStation eventually, and they're going to release it to Xbox as well. And to keep the community thriving, they're going to continue with crossplay, even though there's like a lot of problems with that. Like I said, like a lot of people on PC seem to be using like wall hacks and stuff like that. Like, I wish I recorded this, but there was this guy who was playing Mechanic Dizzy, and he was tracking this person across the wall. You can't spectate enemy players, which I guess it's for balancing, so you can't tell your other team where they are, but regardless, like when I was spectating my team, I was like, why is this guy tracking behind the wall? And I was like, I see what he's doing. And then the second the guy popped his head out, boom, dead. Like he was literally on the map Bullet March. Like he was just tracking them like through the wall, and then boom, headshot. Like he had wall hacks and soft lock. I was just like, dude, you're not fooling anyone, and I hate that. Why even do it? But regardless, like I do think that this game is just a lost leader, that they just knew that it wasn't going to do well financially, but they want to push as many people into the franchise as possible, so they'll buy other games. Like the other games are still on sale. Gears of War 4, 5, I think Gears of War 5 is on Steam. Let's see. Reloaded, yeah. So that's what they want. They want people to start buying these games. So, you know, it's just like with PlayStation. Lost leader, get more people into the franchise and start buying all the Gears of War stuff. But tell me what you think in the comments below. I still think the game is fun. Like, I love the original Gears of War, and that's just more of this. I do wish that they did resolve and fix a lot of the glitches and problems that were present in the original. I wish that, you know, that the matchmaking was a bit more fair, and that I didn't get rickrolled and I didn't rickroll other players. Like, dear God, like, there would be times where I would go like 70-0 because I was playing a bunch of players who had no idea what they were doing. Like, I felt bad, but I need to get to that level 100 because, you know, these achievements, that's the other thing. These achievements in this game are just copy and paste. And why in the flying fuck do I have to play 100 Annex matches? Like, that's the worst part. I know I'm going on a bit of a tangent here. I do that a lot, but why do I have to play 100 Annex matches? Why couldn't it be 10? Why couldn't they just shift it to 10? And if the enemy team leaves, which they usually do by the end of the match, I don't get the point. Like, why? And then you have to do 20 of those matches where you completely steamroll the other team, so you have to play as an asshole. It's just like, guys, you could have like the serious achievement, I can get that, that's for dedication, but you could have at least reduced the multiplayer grind achievements where you have to literally play 25 death matches, 25 box-in matches, which is execution 2v2, which have all the sweats in them. Like, literally, I haven't won a single match now because everyone I went against can literally use the shotgun like a sniper rifle, especially when they active reload. Ugh, God. Like, it's upsetting. But tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinion. What do you think about Gears of War Reloaded? Did you like it? I especially want to hear from people who've played this game for the first time. Like, if you never played Gears of War, I'd love to hear your opinion. Like, that actually is very interesting to me. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Like, provide some insight of what you feel about this. And do you care that there's no split screen co-op? Do you have problems with the matchmaking? Like, I would love to hear newcomers to the franchise, because old veterans like myself, we could kind of hold our own when it comes to this, but I would love to hear from newcomers who are like, especially if you got like completely destroyed, if it discouraged you from playing even more of this game or getting the next installment. But yeah, that's it from me. Tell me in the comments below your opinions, like, dislike, your choice. Goodbye. Have a good day.